Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to yet again another fantastic indie creator interview. It's your Cape Crusader Cody, and we're keeping it geekly with our friend Joey Galvez. We're here to break down Archetypes issue 1, their brand new magazine they're coming out. When you told me about this, I was stoked. I thought this was an awesome idea. This hasn't been anything done in the indie scene that I've seen yet, so I'm really excited to dive into that. But Joey, first and foremost, before we get too deep into the nitty gritty, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
So I'm Joey Galvez, and I got my start, in podcasting. I was a podcaster, and I was doing a handful of shows with a bunch of buddies of mine, and it kind of snowballed into talking to creators and doing interviews, and then creating relationships, right, with those creators so that you can have them back on. I mean, I know you know a little bit about that, right? And when you get this kind of relationship with these creators, you start to they start to see skills and things that you are good at because of what you've done with your own content, right? And you kind of get eyeballs on you. That's kind of how I got tossed into this kind of world of designing Kickstarter pages and offering marketing services, and then now designing comic books and things of that nature with other creators. It all started and stemmed from my own branding and my own podcasting and talking to creators and talking about the fun stuff that I do, and kind of seeing, like, watching trends on Kickstarter, right? Because I was part of doing Kickstarter like 6-7 years ago, when I not as much as I do now, but when I was watching how they used to do it, and then now how everybody kind of does it now, I found that Kickstarter, things like Kickstarter are an ecosystem, and they're always changing, they're always doing things differently, and it's not one campaign is ever the same. So, and I guess that kind of goes with our little our pre-show banter where we're talking about headaches and rolling with the punches and going and adapting, right? So I kind of just adapted, man, and people started hitting me up and saying, hey man, can you make this, I saw you made this logo for your show, can you make this for me, or can you design this for me? And I just started designing social media stuff, and then I got hired with Scout a few years back, and I was doing social media marketing with them, and I was only with them for 1 year, and then after that I got hired on with Band of Bards, and I'm still with Band of Bards doing social media and marketing and stuff. And I will say this, there might be some announcements here in the near future with Band of Bards. They just asked me to send them some handful of things, so there's movement, there's things that are happening, right? Because and it's all because of those irons that I had in the fire, that I was like, okay, well, this one might work. And that's kind of how it happened, man. I just got tossed into it just by having fun and doing what I loved, man, which is talking about comics and buying them and talking to the people who create them.
We got J. Michael Miller in YouTube. It's true, Joey is great. Hey, thank you for joining us, Jeff. We love to see it. You did some work with his campaign too, didn't you?
Yeah, so I actually helped him out with some design work on Kid Cretaceous, and we're also going to be doing we're going to be running that one back, and we're going to be doing some stuff with that one as well. And then he's got a campaign that's going to be coming up called Puff Puff Parent, and I'm helping him out with that, building the campaign with him, and then I'm also going to be doing some pre-press and design with that one as well. So, but what's cool about that campaign is he actually purchased our services to help him build the campaign through Archetypes. Because we put a tier on there where I gave people the lowest. I was like, how much can I make that, like, drop this down and do this stuff? And I put my lowest price point out there, and he bid on it, and so we're gonna move forward with building that campaign. And then he was like, well, I want you to design this too, and I said, cool, let's handle it. And the way that came about was because of my design work with Damien Becton and Kenneth Laster and all those guys on Try Not to Die, which is this one here right around the wall. I helped them design that one, and that one kind of got me a bunch of work, man. So, and then that's the thing, right? You work hard at what you do, and you continue to do that, and people will start to notice you, right? I've always kind of grown up, and I was always that one kid that was like I know that I have this skill, I know that I can do this stuff, but everybody else is being seen before me, right? And now when you start to actually really be seen with the stuff that you're actually doing, and it's actually kind of a really good fun thing, to fun feeling, right?
Mhm.
And so yeah, man, and like I'm really excited for when we come up with that Puff Puff parent. That one's really cool because it follows a father who was very like I want to say, like, let's say Danny Tanner, if he was like super stressed with life and couldn't figure out what's going on, and then he was prescribed medicinal marijuana and became the best dad ever, right? Best husband ever, best person ever, because
Mhm.
of his medicinal use of marijuana, right? So I think it's so cool because I'm such a huge advocate for medicinal marijuana use and things of that nature, and getting it legalized and descheduled on the federal level, because it has helped so many different people, right? It helps people with disabilities and PTSD and ADHD, and it's absolutely crazy that it's still a class, that it's class one, on the
Mhm.
federal level, where it's just so bad. Like, there's no reason for it, right? So it's like there's so many different medicinal properties to that thing, and I think that something like this book, and then is going to help people understand it a little bit more, right? So things like that is really fun to kind of be involved with, something that is a little bit close to my heart.
You guys get that on the wire? No, I think
Hey,
we're gonna be doing a 420 launch party with J. Michael Miller. I think that's in
very
the
cool.
works. So nothing's solidified yet, but we're trying to make that happen. I think that'd be awesome to get lit. Introducing a
Yes.
new book. So Joey, speaking of a new book, or a new magazine, I should say, give us a little bit about what you're trying to accomplish with this, with our archetypes. Like, what is it?
So Archetypes, it's kind of like our tip of the hat to like Wizard magazine, right? But I wanted to put my own twist on it. So I'm like in high school I was a punk rocker, right? In like the late 90s. And so me and my friends, we would always like sit and like do the old school punk rock zines, right? We would literally like type stuff out and like cut and paste them, and then like take them to the Kinkos and Xerox them, and
That's
then
cool
pass
though.
them out for free at the shows, the local shows that weekend, right? And it was just like a bunch of random like articles, and maybe like some fun like little maybe short stories and short poems and random fun stuff like that, right? So I kind of wanted to incorporate something like that, and I've always been talking about, I was like, I want to do a zine, like a real true zine, where I actually fold it and cut and paste things, and then print it, right? But then I was like, well, I have friends and I have print partners that I've kind of created relationships along the way with this stuff, because I also work our local big huge con out here. It's called the Phoenix Fan Fusion, and I work in public in the talent relations, and then the programming and things of that nature. So I kind of relationships with some creators that way, and things of the way they handle those things. I kind of got talking to some people who do like print runs, and emergency print runs for people who are here during the con. If they run out of prints and they still want that, it's like the first or second day, well, they need to get prints made, right? So I talked to some people who do like the emergency print runs and stuff, right? Um so things like that, like creating relationships like that, and talking to people, and all these different tools that people have out there. I was like, well, what can I do, right? So I was like, well, we're already a company that we are offering creative solutions, right? Where like building your campaign, we got graphic designers on our roster, we have video engineers, audio engineers, we have interior artists, cover artists, writers, you know what I mean? So that are subcontracted out through us to help creators put together their work. So I
Mhm.
was like, well, I need to incorporate that into my Kickstarter, because if I'm going to create something, I have to offer somebody something very similar. I have to stay on brand, right? So so staying on brand for me was creating this Kickstarter that, offered this magazine that, yes, we have 3 unreleased comics. One of them's from the Grandma Chainsaw Horus In Hell team. We
Okay.
got Benjamin Morse, who's Scarlet Twilight, August Purgatory, and we have a new story out there. It's called Mother Woven Cups, from a very brand new talent. His name is Raphael Flores, and he's also with Grimcore Studios doing the Camazotz Comics. So we want to showcase these new talents with these old school talents that do very well on Kickstarter. We're also incorporating some really cool articles about like TTRPG zine design, or TTRPG character design, and that's done by All Ages of Geek, which is a really cool website. They lean towards more of like the anime style type stuff, but what they're doing right now is creating their own TTRPG and their characters, and then they're also going to create a companion comic book with that, right? So we wanted to pick their brains about how they do that and how they went about it, so they talk about that in an article, right? We also talked to Nashi Press's editor-in-chief about media kits and how important they are, right? You and I were talking a little bit about media kits backstage, and how important they are when, like, you were telling me, like, you said that sometimes it's really hard to like go and find all these different assets that you need. Like, if you can't find the comic book, you got to like screenshot it and you got to do all this, and it takes too much time for you to sometimes write an article for somebody because you have to search for all that stuff to put in the article. So what we do is we created this really super organized file system to where, for this media kit, where everything that a media person would need, it's all right there. They don't have to go search for it. They don't have to go Google anything. We'll even throw links in there to the things that they would Google, right? So that it sends you straight there, and then you come right back, because what we want to do is we want to make sure that you find all that stuff at your fingertips, get it real quick, so that you can write that article as fast as possible, right? And it's so what we're doing is thinking a little bit further than where usually people would stop, right? And so that's what we're kind of throwing inside this. So we have that article in there, and then we're gonna have some a handful of other things. There's a buddy of mine who is over at Pesto Comics, and he wrote it, like, on Twitter. He does these daily affirmations, these writing tips and tricks that he does for himself every day. So I asked him to kind of give us some of that insight, and so he wrote an article, how to get you through your first draft of your first issue of your book. So this magazine is not only is it going to be a fun thing to kind of read comics, but it's also going to be a really great asset to help you to make comics. And we wanted to make it so easy for somebody to do that, and to want it, because if everybody's got a story, and if you want to tell it, well, here's a way to tell it, and here's all kinds of really cool, easy tools to grab to do that. Because when I was starting out, and when other people were starting out, it's hard to find that stuff. And so we wanted to make sure that it was super easy to do that, and also not just stop there, right? Because we wanted to offer the physical side. We also wanted to offer some really cool digital deluxe stuff, which has all these things inside of it. So I'm also offering everybody who backs at a physical level and a digital level are able to get these really cool things. So it starts at digital deluxe, and everybody in the digital deluxe and on up gets all of this stuff that I've been talking about. They get all these templates, they get all these like these media kit templates. I'll show them how to do that. I'm probably going to be recording some videos and taking them step by step on how to actually create it, and they're going to get that dropped into their emails, right? They're also going to get these really cool templates for how to build your first Kickstarter, and all the things that I use that I send out to my creators. I also have this really cool working document that I use that I send out to everybody that I work with, and it just makes everything life easier to just put your log line, your bios, your tiers, your rewards, everything all in one doc, keeping it nice and organized so that everybody has access to it, and it's all right there, and everybody doesn't say, hey, how much was this? Well, it's all right there in the doc, right? So we're always thinking about the stuff. I'm always finding ways how to make my job easier. So this magazine's pretty much trying to do the same thing to make everybody else's life easier when it comes to creating a crowdfunding comic.
Absolutely. We have J. Michael Miller saying hype to see issue 1 and issue 2 and even more after that. Speaking of these issues, I mean, is this going to be something that's an ongoing series? Where do you kind of see the future of this running?
So right now we have issue 1, right? We already have, you know what? We got 6 days left. Why not? I'll listen. I will announce it right here. How about that? Let's announce it right here on Keeping It Geekly. Here's the official announcement. We are going to be doing an issue 2. It is going to be coming out during the spooky season. We're going to jump on Witchstarter, Kickstarter's open call, right? We took advantage of the open call this year called Zine Quest. So we're also going to take advantage of this year's spooky season Witchstarter, and we're going to do a spooky version of this magazine. We're still going to have some really cool tips and tricks and stuff like that to help people, right? But we're going to, do the next step. My buddy, he's going to write us and do some writing tips, and he's going to take you from the first draft, and now he's going to take you to the second, and then we're going to continue on that way with each issue with his stuff. And then media kits, we have the media kit now. Now, what do you do with the media kit, right? And that's going to be in the next magazine, right? So, it's going to kind of be like this sequential kind of idea that I've got in my head with these tips and tricks, right? So you're gonna want to grab issue 1 and issue 2. Now, here's the cool kicker, right? We just we didn't announce, but we just chose 3 of our comics that are going to be in this issue. We're gonna have, so Jonathan Hedrick is going to be heading this one, just like this one here. This is our La Llorona character up here on the screen, and this was our buddy who from Camazotz Comics. His story got chosen as the cover for that, right? So Jonathan Hedrick, he just got chosen by us to. He's got a really cool short story called Abracadabra. It follows a young man who has a speech impediment, and people make fun of him, and something magical happens. I don't want to give anything away because it's magical, supernatural, occult. It's gonna kind of fit in with our spooky season theme, right? So he's gonna be that one, right? We're also going to have CJ Hudson and Marcus Jimenez. They just dropped a book on us, and we just chose them. It's called, the working title right now is Speed Kills. It's in the distant future, where people think of like speed bikes and like crazy, like in the future kind of spacey kind of Star Warsy kind of stuff, right? But there is a little bit of a cool spooky supernatural feel to it. Not too much, but it is a little creepy. All I'm gonna say is think about the ID4 scene where the alien spoke through one person. There may not be a scene like that in this one. That's scary as hell to me. so we got them in there, and then I chose another one. I think I just chose another one just the other day. I gotta look through my emails and make sure that it's the correct one, so I won't sit and announce that one yet, because I've had so many people throw them at me. But we got those ones out there, so very, very cool, right? So we're gonna do those ones, and we're also gonna run it back with all kinds of really cool stuff.
We have our good friend BMD Nerd stopping in on YouTube. The first issue already looks spooky. Yeah, I really dig a lot of these interiors for the comics. The covers look awesome too. I mean, I love how it feels just like a straight up magazine that you would see on like a pole stand at at a grocery store or something.
And the standard-ish cover A was done. The artwork was done by Omar Perez, and then I actually designed. So my buddy Benjamin Morse designed the logo for us, and then I designed the cover for that.
Oh, that looks clean, very clean. So let's go ahead.
The second cover is Benjamin W. Morse. This one's cool, and I just wanted to say real quick, we're doing standard covers with this one, and we're also going to be doing a specialty cover. 50 are going to be printed. That's going to be an embossed title, foil printed with a beautiful varnish finish.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Let's go ahead and check out some of these rewards as well. How many pages is this going to be?
So Well, so right now we got 3 8-page books, right? That's already a one, like literally that's already one issue's worth of pages, right? So we also have 3 articles with 1100 words, so that's another 2 pages each, right? So we're already sitting in the 30 something page plus range, right? And then I also haven't dropped in any of the art pages in between things, so it's gonna be a nice hefty book here.
Mhm.
Now if it gets to the point, listen, I'm so like I listen, I have my ADHD's kicking off, right, with this book. Like, if it gets too thick, I don't want one of those thick floppies, right? I will go straight to a really thin trade paperback style, like square bound a book if it's too thick. So you guys might be in for a treat if we go too far into the weeds with those pages. You guys might get a really cool a smaller version of a square bound book. So depending on how many pages we have, if we have too many, I'm definitely gonna move forward with that, because I can't fathom putting a freaking thick book inside of a bag and board and sending it off to you and not getting to you guys in a pristine condition. So
Absolutely. So here is a link for everyone watching. Be sure to put this on Twitter and Facebook. Word of mouth is 100% free. If you're not able to back, simply putting this wherever you can will help get the word out as far as possible. But speaking of backing, you can get a digital copy of this for just as low as $6. Awesome price there. The deluxe digital at $8. We have the standard cover coming in at $12 for the physical copy. So awesome price on that. We have the Wizard homage at $18. And then both covers at $25. So we have that embossed varnished foil at $30. Awesome price on that. The media kit plus the standard cover at $45. So I mean, these tiers are awesome, Joey. We are loving to see it. Crowdfunding.
And that media kit, that's literally that's consultation, right? So I will walk you through how to build the media kit the way I build them, and so that's me walking you through it. I'll get on a 30-minute to an hour video call with you, and we'll sit down and we'll walk right through it. I'll even send you the template that I have, so that you can see exactly how you can literally just take the template that I have and like delete the stuff that I have on there and insert your stuff.
All right, and we have the crowdfunding version of that at $55. An awesome bundle. We have the Tar Mux Ultimate Bundle at $100. It's some awesome tiers here.
We partnered with Oneshi Press because Oneshi Press's editor-in-chief, we asked Lindsay to be a part of Archetypes, where she's the one that we were talking about the media kits, and her and I actually developed how to organize this media kit together. I had given her the idea before, and she like perfected it. So I'm like, oh, holy crap, this is gorgeous, right? So with that tier, you guys are gonna get some really cool stuff. You guys are gonna get some really cool Oneshi Press stuff, because we also asked her to be the editor-in-chief of Archetypes, and she said yes. So she's editing this book for us from here on forward. I don't know if you've seen her credentials, like holy crap. She works with Penguin Random House right now. She's done work with IDW and DC and all kinds of Rolling Stone. It's nuts. She's got
crazy.
a great yeah.
And also a digital commission from Benjamin as well too for $100. That's pretty cheap.
And that one's gone already. So that's the cover. Somebody's gonna get a Benjamin W. Morris cover right there for $100.
Oh, that's a cover? Yeah, that's a steal then.
It's a digital cover of that, and it's nothing too crazy. So what it is you can it's one full character background, nothing too crazy, right? Or else the price is going to go up a little bit more, right? But for $100, that's a steal. He doesn't ever do his covers that low.
That is awesome. So after going through this Kickstarter in its entirety, for anyone who might be on the fence about backing and getting an issue of this awesome magazine, what would you like to say to them to kind of help push them over that hump?
Well, I'm gonna say this is definitely a magazine, a comic, or whatever you want to call it, comic magazine anthology. This is something that's there for the person who's dipping their toe into creating comics, right? Or somebody who, even those people who have been creating comics, who can't or don't know the first thing about how to reach out to media or reach out to anybody. This is for you, because this is going to help. This is going to be your best tool in your tool belt.
That is awesome. And, you know, as someone who tries to do a little home repairs and little car repairs here and there, you're the more tools you have, the better. You don't want to not have a tool and need it and then have to rush off and try to find it. You know, having it there is half the battle. So that is awesome. Joey, I know this is your first time on the show. When we wrap things up, I love asking two questions: a piece of advice and then what you're consuming outside of creating. So with that being said, for someone who's ran and, you know, constructed a ton of Kickstarters, what would you say the single biggest thing a creator can do to help their project? What would that be? Like the biggest thing you could offer?
I think watching the trends and staying organized. You know, watch. So if you have a comic book and let's say it's like a dark comedy, right? Go and look at Kickstarter and look at what other books that are very similar to yours are doing, and keep an eye on it, right? And watch the trends, watch the person, how they promote and what they're doing. Now, if it's uber successful or not as successful, kind of, you know, gauge that thing. It's just a good idea to kind of keep an eye on what they're doing. Always look through Kickstarters and what they're doing and how they're marketing their things and all the little special fun things that they do, because those things might spark something new in you and how you want to offer some new stuff in your campaigns. So always look through other people's Kickstarters, and if you can, while you're looking there, and if you are able, if you like it, back it, right? So that's the one big key piece of advice is what I would say is look through Kickstarters, back it if you can, and keep an idea of like, you know, how they're building and how they're keeping their stuff going, and then stay organized. That's the huge thing that that's the first thing that I do with my creators. I say, okay, we need to stay organized because we have so many people on these teams. Sometimes there's like 5 to 6 people that are all, you know, moving forward in one direction, and all those 5 or 6 different people have different personalities. And, you know, sometimes, like we were saying, sometimes people butt heads. The best way to stay organized is to use things like these templates, like these working documents that I send out, to have all your things numbered and organized and things, and then also keeping your assets organized when you download them, or your social stuff, social media assets and graphics and things of that nature. All those things organized, numbered, and labeled properly, because if they're not labeled and you go to look for them, because the thing that you're gonna do is type, hey, this is the Joey's campaign number 1, and you can't find it, and you're like, where the heck is all this stuff? So stay organized, keep it clean, organized, and I think that's biggest key that I always start off with all my creators.
Awesome piece of advice. Last but not least, what are you consuming outside of creating? I mean, comic books, video games, TV shows. I know we don't have a whole lot of time to do stuff, but when you do get some, what are you up to?
So right now, I like to consume. So listen, me and my wife like to watch smut TV sometimes, like
Joey.
The TLC shows and all that stuff, like the 90 Day Fiance and stuff like that. So, but right now, we are actually consuming Next Level Chef.
Okay.
So we're all about Next Level Chef right now. That's what we're doing. So like every day after work, it's like 6-7 p.m. comes. She's like, okay, are you ready? So that's what we're doing right now. But other than that, man, I'm working and listening to music. My favorite band is Silver Sun Pickups right now. So I'm listening to music and watching Next Level Chef.
All right, we'll get your chef hat, top hat, the apron. Get it ready. Let's get to cooking. Everyone watching, I hope you all are having a fantastic day. Right there's the link. Be sure to check it out. Be sure to back if you're able to, and if not, put it on Facebook, Twitter. Word of mouth is 100% free, and it costs you absolutely nothing to do. Hope you all have a fantastic Thursday, but most importantly, keep it geekly.